Okay, so this is the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Now, all this is, okay, is a fancy way to say that it's going to be backwards. So if you're using the Pythagorean theorem, you have a right triangle and you're finding a side length. The converse, however, okay, is used to determine if you have a acute, obtuse, or a right triangle. So with the regular Pythagorean theorem, you're missing a side length. With the converse of it, you're going to be given all three side lengths, and then you're going to determine, based off of some information, whether or not these are acute, right, or obtuse triangles. Now, in order to be a right triangle, they would have to actually be the Pythagorean theorem, that the c squared would have to be equal to the a squared plus b squared. So what we're going to work on now, and this is the reason why I set the Pythagorean theorem up backwards on the other video, is because now what we're going to do is we're going to compare them. And it should make sense as long as you put the C on the left, these symbols will let you know what type it is. So when we're solving these right here, this equal sign technically will not even be here. It'll be a circle. We'll not know what is it going to be, all right? If it's equals, then it will be a right triangle. If whatever we put in here is less than or greater than, if it's less than, it's acute, greater than obtuse. Now, again, these symbols kind of make sense as long as the C or the hypotenuse, the longest side, has to be on the left. Again, notice I just said the C, the hypotenuse, the longest side. Any of those is how we know. You have to have the hypotenuse on the left for this to work. And that is why I started off teaching you the Pythagorean theorem with the hypotenuse on the left. All right, so here's three examples. One of them is going to be acute, one of them is going to be obtuse, and one of them is going to be right. As long as I did my math right, we're good. All right, so first off, I'm going to give you three side lengths. Notice there's no triangles, all right, because I'm not going to tell you what kind of triangle it is yet. We're going to go and put them in there. When you're given three side lengths, how are you going to know which one is the C? Hopefully in your head you're saying you just said it. Yes, I did just tell you. The C or the hypotenuse is going to be the longest side. So when you look at them, 5, 11, 13, 13 is the longest side, so that is my C. Then I'm going to be leaving this open. I don't know right now, are they equal? I don't know, so I'm leaving it open. This is my, what is it? So then I'm just going to place the 5 and the 11. Again, that doesn't matter. The A can be 5 or it can be 11. It does not matter in that order. So now you're just going to go back, and we already talked about calculator use. Hopefully everybody has a calculator. I'm going to use mine. I am going to square the 13, which I already know is 169. Put my big circle again, work the problems left to right. Do 5 squared plus 11 squared. Again, if your calculator does both, go ahead and type it all in. If it does not, type in one at a time. All right, and then you're going to say, okay, 169, what is that to this? So you'll do 25 plus 121. That is 146. So is 169 greater than 146, less than 146, or equal to 146? Oops, you can't see. Here's your three choices. Is it less than, greater than, or equal to? Because remember, the answer I'm going to want is acute, obtuse, or right. So looking down here, 169, that is greater than. So remember, the bigger side goes towards the bigger number. It is a greater than sign, so if it's greater than, this is an obtuse triangle. So this is the answer that I would want you to type in if we're doing a form, obtuse. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to give you three side lengths again. Move it over just a little bit, get you in the middle. I don't know. So I'm going to say, okay, the longest side is going to be my C. That's my first thing. All right. We'll grab a different color. So my longest side is 26. They won't always be in order, by the way. I just have a fetish. I always put numbers in order, but they won't always be in order. So find it. Make sure you have the longest side as your C. Big circle. And then the other two sides will go in. 22 plus 24. All right, go ahead and try to do the math. 26 squared, 676. Now I'm going to do 22 squared, 484, plus 24 squared, 576. Add them together and see what you get. Again, I do not know if these form a triangle. All right, so I've got 1060. So is this number greater than, less than, or equal to? Hopefully you said less than. 676 is less than 1060, and the less than symbol represents an acute triangle. And again, reminder, the C has to be on the left. The C is one side. So pretty much we're basing everything off of the one side. So again, it's almost like a battle. It's 1 against 2. We have one side against two sides. If the one side is smaller, then it's acute. If the one side is larger, it's obtuse. And if the one side will be equal, then it's going to be right. Okay, to help you remember, it's just the one side against the two. So it's an unfair fight if we're fighting. So we're fighting to see if we have acute, right, or obtuse triangles. All right, so the last one, let's hope I did this right, and we do have a equal to sign in there. And again, sorry, these really shouldn't have been there yet. I was just getting ahead of myself writing the formula down. All right, so again, longest side, 30, so that'll go here. Don't know what it is yet. And then I'm just going to pick. I always kind of just put the smallest and then the largest. It does not matter at all, because remember, commutative property, that comes into play here, so it does not matter. All right, so 30 squared, I'm just going to double check it's 900, but it should still be 900. It doesn't change. 18 squared, and if you already have this kind of stuff, you can kind of skip through the video. Don't have to watch every single step if you already know that answer. 24 squared, 576. Add them together, and let's hope I did it right, and that will equal 900. It does. So this is equal to, and if you have them equal to, it is a right triangle. Now, obviously, this one does not matter which side the C was on because they're going to be equal. But for the other two, to help yourself out, if you will set the C equal to the A squared plus B squared, then these symbols will hold true up here. And if you haven't already wrote that down, you might want to pause the video and do so. Again, I do know it's an ed puzzle, but I also know you all know how to get through the videos faster. So anyways, again, less than, greater than, equal to will determine what type of triangle. So one more time, if it's greater than, so the 169 is greater than 149, it was obtuse. The 676 was less than the 1060 was acute. And again, it's going to be the 1, which is the hypotenuse, against the legs. The hypotenuse versus the legs. The hypotenuse versus the legs. All right. So I would definitely write it this way. It makes it a lot easier. You don't get it. It's not as it's confusing. Greater than, most people think of bigger, so that's obtuse. Less than is acute. And then equal to would be right. Hope this video helps.